Adam and Eve have already sinned and are spiritually separated from God. The relationship between Adam and Eve has also been severed, and their relationship with the world has been cut off as well. The separation between Adam and Eve and God means that they can no longer worship the Lord, can no longer obey his commands, nor can they love such a God. The breakdown of the relationship between Adam and Eve means that from then on, all unions between people are affected. Are all false, not true, genuine unions. If a union is not truly from God and not genuinely for God, then the relationships between people within such a union are of absolutely no real benefit. In other words, such a union can only be built upon the basis of purely physical needs, on the very foundation of flesh and blood ties, or perhaps on shared superficial interests. It absolutely cannot be established on a truly solid, enduring, and spiritual foundation. A truly solid relationship must be built on the foundation that everyone is in the Lord and worships God. Only then is it possible to establish such a relationship. The separation between people and the world once again tells us that humans are no longer able to govern the earth according to God's commands, nor can they manifest God's righteousness, mercy, and glory on this earth. Therefore, the severance of these three relationships means that one day Adam and Eve had relations, and Adam and Eve established a physical relationship. Eve became pregnant and was still able to be fruitful and multiply. But this kind of relationship, this kind of order, had already collapsed. As mentioned last time, the family had already come under a curse. The result of the family being cursed can be clearly seen through the name Eve gave to Cain after giving birth to him. We can see that in this kind of family relationship and order, once God is removed, people all compete with each other to be king. Why do they want to be king? What authority do they want to grasp? It's very simple: the authority to judge. Everyone truly desires to possess the ultimate authority to judge what is good and what is evil. From Adam's act of naming Eve to Eve's subsequent naming of Cain, they all inherently wish to make themselves like God, capable of discerning and judging both good and evil. So in Genesis chapter 4, verse 1, we can very clearly see that after people have distanced themselves from God and become separated from him, the collapse of their entire order reveals that they no longer acknowledge that only Yahweh is their God, only Yahweh is the creator. They no longer recognize that they themselves, their women and their families are all created by God. This is the first premise. They no longer acknowledge God as their creator and that they are created beings. Once the creator is removed from the created world, this is the result for the created world.